The courtroom air hung thick with a scent of polished wood and stale coffee, a suffocating blend that clawed at my throat as I sat rigid on the hard bench. My hands trembled in my lap, knuckles white around a crumpled tissue stained with mascara. Then it happened, the crack that shattered everything. "Shut up!" David's voice exploded like a gunshot, raw and venomous, slicing through the murmurs of the gallery. He lunged forward from the defendant's table. His face twisted into a mask of fury I'd never seen, not even in our darkest fights. Our daughter, Emily, barely 16, stood at the witness stand, her small frame quivering under the fluorescent lights. She flinched, her eyes widening in terror, but she didn't back down. The judge's gavel slammed down, echoing like thunder, but it was too late. The room froze, and in that suspended moment, I felt a surge of rage so primal it burned away the last shreds of love I'd clung to. This man, my husband of 20 years, had just screamed at our child in open court. And she was about to unravel him. It started innocently enough, or so I told myself in the beginning. Denial is a warm blanket, isn't it? David and I had built a life together. A cozy suburban home in Maplewood, New Jersey, with its manicured lawns and white picket fences that screamed stability. He was the charismatic investment banker, always closing deals with that disarming smile, the one that made his green eyes crinkle at the corners. I was the devoted wife, the graphic designer who traded her career ambitions for PTA meetings and soccer practices. Emily was our miracle, born after years of fertility struggles that had tested our marriage but ultimately bound us tighter. Or so I thought. The first crack appeared 6 months ago, on a rainy Tuesday evening. I remember the patter of droplets against the kitchen window as I chopped vegetables for stir-fry, the knife's rhythmic thud a counterpoint to the jazz playing softly on the radio. David came home late, his suit rumpled, tie askew. He dropped his briefcase by the door with a heavy sigh and poured himself a scotch without a word. "Rough day?" I asked, forcing a smile as I wiped my hands on a dish towel. He didn't look at me. "Yeah. Market's tanking." His voice was flat, distant. I reached for him, my fingers brushing his arm, but he pulled away, muttering about needing space. That night, as he slept beside me, his phone buzzed on the nightstand. I shouldn't have looked. God, how many times have I replayed that decision? But curiosity gnawed at me. The screen lit up with a text from Lena. "Miss you already. Can't wait for Paris." Paris. My heart plummeted, a cold stone sinking into my gut. David had a business trip scheduled there next week, one he'd described as boring meetings with investors. I scrolled through the messages, each one a dagger. Late-night confessions of love, photos of her in lingerie that made my stomach churn. Lena was his assistant, 28. With a kind of effortless beauty that turned heads. They'd been sleeping together for a year. A whole year while I planned family vacations and ironed his shirts. Humiliation washed over me in waves, hot and suffocating. I sat there in the dark, staring at the ceiling, tears streaming silently down my face. How had I missed it? The late nights, the sudden interest in gym memberships, the way he'd stopped touching me. Heartbreak clawed at my chest, a raw ache that made breathing hard. But beneath it, resentment simmered, a quiet, festering thing. I thought of Emily, asleep down the hall, oblivious to the storm brewing. How could he do this to us? The next morning, I confronted him over coffee. "Who's Lena?" I said, my voice steady despite the tremor in my hands. He froze, mug halfway to his lips. For a split second, guilt flashed in his eyes, but it vanished, replaced by defiance. "What are you talking about? Don't lie to me, David. I saw the messages." He set the mug down with a clink, his jaw tightening. "It's nothing. Just flirting. Flirting. You're planning trips to Paris." His face hardened. "Fine. It's an affair. Happy now. Our marriage has been dead for years, Sarah. You're always nagging, always complaining. Lena makes me feel alive." The words hit like a slap. Nagging. I'd supported him through job losses, through his mother's cancer. I'd given up my dreams for his. Anger boiled up, but I swallowed it, thinking of Emily. We can fix this. Therapy, maybe. He laughed, a bitter sound that echoed in the kitchen. Fix it. I'm done, Sarah. I want a divorce. Just like that, our life crumbled. He moved out that weekend into a sleek apartment downtown, no doubt furnished with Lena's input. The divorce proceedings began, a brutal tug-of-war over assets, custody, everything. David played dirty from the start, hiring a shark of a lawyer who painted me as unstable, citing my emotional outbursts during arguments. He claimed our savings were depleted from bad investments, leaving me scraping by on freelance gigs while he flaunted his new life. But the real betrayal, the money. I'd always trusted David with our finances. He handled the accounts, the investments. During discovery, his lawyer produced statements showing our joint assets at a pitiful $200,000. Barely enough for me to keep the house after alimony. I knew it was a lie. We'd socked away millions over the years. Bonuses, stock options, inheritances. Where had it gone? Suspicion gnawed at me during those sleepless nights. I'd pace the empty house, the floorboards creaking underfoot, replaying memories. David had always been secretive about money, dismissing my questions with a patronizing smile. Don't worry your pretty head about it, he'd say. Now it felt like a veil lifting. Was he hiding it for Lena? For a fresh start without us? Emily suffered the most. She withdrew, her once bright eyes dulled by confusion and hurt. Why does Dad hate us? She'd ask, curled up on the couch with her knees to her chest. He doesn't hate us, sweetie. He's just lost. But inside I seethed. Resentment turned to obsession. I'd stare at old photos, tracing his face with my finger, imagining confronting him, making him pay. Fantasies played out in my mind, exposing the affair to his colleagues, slashing his tires, something to shatter his perfect facade. But doubt crept in. Was I capable of that? Me, the good wife. The one who always forgave. One evening, as rain lashed the windows, Emily came to me with her laptop. Mom, look at this. Her voice was small, hesitant. On the screen was David's bank app. He'd left it logged in on her iPad during a visit. She hadn't meant to snoop, but curiosity got the better of her. There, buried in offshore accounts under shell companies, was the truth. $2 million siphoned away over years. Transfers to Lena's name. Luxury purchases masked as business expenses. My blood ran cold. He hid it all, I whispered, a mix of fury and vindication surging through me. Emily's eyes filled with tears. He's stealing from us, Mom. From me. In that moment something shifted. The heartbreak hardened into cold resolve. This wasn't just betrayal. It was theft, a calculated erasure of our future. I hugged her tight, the scent of her shampoo. Strawberry, innocent, grounding me. We'll make this right, I said, but inside plans formed. Quiet, strategic. Play the long game. The weeks blurred into a haze of lawyer meetings and whispered strategies. My attorney, a no-nonsense woman named Carla, pored over the evidence Emily had screenshot. This is fraud, she said, her pen tapping the desk. We can nail him for hiding assets. But David was slick. He denied everything. His lawyer spinning tales of legitimate investments gone sour. Discovery dragged on, tension building like a storm cloud. I'd see him in court, impeccably dressed, flashing that smile at the judge. Made my skin crawl. Humiliation burned anew each time. The whispers in the gallery, the pitying looks. Emily begged to testify. I want to help, Mom. Her voice cracked, but there was steel beneath it. I hesitated, fear gripping me. She was just a kid. But she insisted, her resentment mirroring mine. He left us. He lied. Guilt twisted in my gut. Was I using her? Dragging her into this mess? Moral conflict warred within me. Protect her or let her fight. In the end I relented. Maybe this was justice. The trial date loomed, a ticking clock. Nights found me alone in bed, sheets tangled, mind racing. I'd imagine the confrontation, his face crumpling as the truth emerged. But doubt lingered. What if he talked his way out? What if revenge poisoned us both? The day arrived, crisp autumn air biting as we entered the courthouse. Marble floors echoed our footsteps, the building's grandeur mocking our fractured family. David sat across the aisle, Lena at his side like a trophy. She avoided my gaze, her red lips pursed. Proceedings dragged. Financial experts droning on, lawyers sparring. Then Emily took the stand. My heart pounded as she swore in, her voice steady. "Emily," Carla began gently, "can you tell the court about the accounts you discovered?" David shifted, his eyes narrowing. Emily glanced at me, drawing strength, then spoke. "Dad left his bank app open. I saw transfers, millions, to hidden accounts. He was moving money to avoid splitting it with us." The gallery murmured. David's lawyer objected, but the judge overruled. Emily continued, detailing dates, amounts, her voice gaining confidence. That's when he snapped. "Shut up." He bolted up, veins bulging in his neck. "You little liar. This is bullshit." Chaos erupted. The bailiff restrained him, the judge banging her gavel. Emily froze, tears streaming, but she didn't stop. "It's true. He hid $2 million. I have proof." The courtroom spun. Shock coursed through me, mingled with a dark satisfaction. This was it, the unraveling. But as guards hauled David away, his eyes locked on mine, filled with hatred. "You'll regret this, Sarah." Fear flickered, but resolve won. The game had changed. The aftermath was a whirlwind. David's outburst made headlines. Banker loses cool in divorce court, daughter exposes hidden fortune. Reporters swarmed our driveway, cameras flashing like lightning. I shielded Emily, ushering her inside, but the damage was done. She trembled in my arms that night, sobs racking her body. "I hate him, Mom. Why did he yell like that?" Guilt gnawed at me. I'd let her step into the fire. "You were brave, sweetie. So brave." But inside, obsession deepened. David's secret was out, but it wasn't enough. The court froze his assets, ordering audits, but he fought back with appeals, his lawyer claiming fabricated evidence. He painted Emily as a manipulated teen, me as the vengeful ex. Resentment fueled my every move. I'd wake at dawn, coffee bitter on my tongue, poring over documents. Sensory details haunted me. The metallic tang of fear in court, the rough texture of subpoena papers. I hired a private investigator, a grizzled man named Frank with a perpetual 5 o'clock shadow. "Dig deep," I told him over greasy diner eggs. "Find everything." Frank delivered. Photos of David and Lena in Paris, receipts for jewelry, a hidden condo in her name. But the bombshell. Offshore wires tracing back to embezzlement from his firm. He'd skimmed client funds to fund his double life. This wasn't just marital betrayal. It was criminal. Cold resolve settled in. Revenge wasn't impulsive. It was calculated, a slow burn. I'd leak it strategically. Anonymous tips to his boss, the SEC. But moral conflict raged. Was I destroying a man for hurting me? What about Emily's future? Doubt whispered, "You're no better than him." David called one night, his voice slurred with whiskey. "Sarah, we need to talk." My pulse raced. "What do you want?" "To end this. Drop the fraud claims. I'll give you half the money." "Half? After everything?" Anger flared. "You screamed at our daughter, David. In court. Like she was nothing." Silence stretched. I lost control. "I'm sorry." "Sorry." I laughed, bitter. "You hid millions. Cheated. Left us broke. It was for us, for a fresh start. Lena. She's pregnant." The revelation hit like a gut punch. Heartbreak resurfaced, sharp and fresh. Another child. While Emily suffered. "Go to hell," I hissed, hanging up. That sealed it. No mercy. I met Frank in a dimly lit park, leaves crunching underfoot, the chill air nipping at my skin. Send the evidence. Anonymously. He nodded, cigarette smoke curling. This'll ruin him. As weeks passed, suspense built. David's firm suspended him pending investigation. Whispers turned to shouts. Lawsuits, FBI inquiries. He lost the apartment, Lena left him, ironic that. I'd drive by his new motel, seeing his car parked crookedly, and feel a twisted thrill. But obsession consumed me. Mirrors reflected a gaunt woman, eyes shadowed. Emily noticed. Mom, you're scaring me. Let it go. Guilt pierced. Was revenge worth this? Inner turmoil peaked one stormy night. Thunder rumbled as I sat at the kitchen table, rain streaking windows. Fantasies shifted. Not just ruin but confrontation. Make him beg. The final court date arrived, snow flurrying outside. David looked broken, hair unkempt, suit ill-fitting. As testimony wrapped, Carla presented the embezzlement proof. His face paled. Objection! His lawyer barked, but it was futile. The judge ruled. Full disclosure, alimony tripled, custody to me. But the twist. Emily stood again, unprompted. Dad, she said, voice steady. I forgive you. But Mom deserves better. David's eyes welled. Then she dropped it. The $2 million. It's not just hidden, it's stolen. From your clients. Gasps echoed. David crumpled, confessing in a whisper. Arrest followed, handcuffs clicking coldly. In the hallway he approached, guarded. Why, Sarah? You betrayed us, I said, voice even. Now feel the weight. But as he was led away, a shocking twist. His eyes softened. I did it for you. The money was for Emily's college. I hid it from Lena too. I was leaving her. Lies. Or truth. Doubt flooded. Had my revenge destroyed an imperfect man trying to protect us? Poetic justice soured into regret. Emily hugged me. It's over, Mom. But was it? Heartbreak lingered. Resentment faded to hollow victory. Revenge's price. Our family's final fracture. In the end, the real secret exposed was mine. The darkness I'd embraced.